All right, we'll go ahead and call the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order, January 4th. First item is we have the adoption of the agenda. I do not have any changes to the agenda, so with that, unless other board members do, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Motion to adopt.
We have
I'll
a
second.
motion to adopt by John and seconded by Gerald. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the presentation of the minutes. Board, we have two sets of minutes to approve on here. You should have received those last week, I think on the 30th or 31st, maybe the 31st they went out. I have December the 7th here in front of you. And I don't know if you've read them. If not, I'll scroll through them fast. So if you can read fast, that's fine. If not, I can send you another copy if you didn't get it. Okay, well, there's still more down here. I'll scroll down. And that's all we have for that meeting there. And then we've got the one from the 21st. Okay, and that's all we have for the 21st meeting. If I don't have any changes or corrections, we can approve both of these at the same time. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt both sets of minutes.
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion to adopt by Gerald. Are here a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the comments of citizens. At this time, if we have any citizens on that would like to make any comments, please do so at this time. If you're going to make a comment, make sure you're not on mute. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the department head reports. Let me pull that up here. We'll go ahead and start off first with wastewater. Chris Toothman. You're all set if you're on mute now. Check.
I think I just unmuted. Thanks, Mayor. Board. Short report here this week. The collection guys, I think they had one tap out at it was actually a force main tap on a Simplex lift station out on Swan Road out by the hospital. It's the very first house on the left, that red metal building. Looks pretty nice. So we gained a new customer there. Stormwater, we didn't have any issues the last couple of weeks. Down here at the plant, no issues at the lab. The guys did finish the grease trap inspections for December. There were no issues except for one of the nursing homes did have a COVID issue where we were not allowed to go in. So that's kind of expected. So they're usually pretty good about it anyway. So we'll hit them next time whenever we get a chance. And just if anybody's curious, we did avoid flood pumping this week. It actually crested probably an hour ago, so the river's going back down. It did reach 33 feet, but it's on its way back down. So we did avoid flood pumping, and that is all I have.
I was glad to hear that. Last I heard, we was going to have to pump, so I'm glad
They were ready.
Yeah, they were. Bill was on it, wasn't he?
Oh, he always is.
Yes. John or Gerald, do you have any questions for Chris?
No, sir.
Okay.
I have none.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
All right. The next department head, we have Street Commissioner Pat Ballmeister. And I'm pulling up your report now. Pat, you're on deck, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Mayor and Board. Trash department this last couple of weeks, we hauled up 66.53 tons, the men did. we took off one of our trash trucks today to Jasper. We're having a problem with the transmission on it. It is, I believe it's stuck in high range. So when it gets a load on it, it really makes it hard to move. So I took it to Ubilar's truck, big truck repaired for them. And I told them not to do anything costly with it till they got a hold of us so we could talk about it and make sure that we wanted to put the money into it and stuff. It's a 2007 Chevy 7500 series. And I guess they got it back in 2007. It was here when I got here. But it seems to be a pretty good truck with just that transmission issue right now. Other than that, that's with the holiday recycling and stuff. What we did with the residents, there was really no issues. There was a few problems here and there, but putting it out in the newspaper and Facebook, that really helped a lot with the holidays and stuff. Other than that, there was no major problems on the trash side or recycling side. The street department, we've been working on trying to get some hose patched in the streets and cleaning some more curbs and gutters. And we're getting ready to start on the hillside there by AutoZone. It's pretty much an eyesore. So we'd like to try to clean that up. We know that that's on the state's right of way there, but I don't think it's going to get taken care of anyway unless we attempt to do it. So we want to try to make that presentable if we can up there. And what else? So, like I said, what Chris just mentioned about the flood, we was watching the river levels really high, really good. See if we had to put in the floodgates. So we missed that one. That was good. All the snow plows are ready to go, and that's about all that we got right now. We're just trying to get things caught up and ready to go for a snow event and doing things while the weather's nice.
Or just to kind of further Pat's comments and project he's working on the hillside, the AutoZone, not just trying to kind of knock down some of the weeds and so forth, but also there's a lot of trash and litter that has been thrown and blown in there. And while that's unsightly, we do not want that getting in the creek, getting into the waterways. So again, that's another way to keep those things out of the creek and out of the waterways, and also keep up the appearance of the hillside. And because with COVID, a lot of people do park over there and eat their whatever, lunch, dinner, so forth, and just for a view or whatever, passing cars. So I think it's important that we do keep that area clean. It's not something they're going to be able to mow every month when they mow the creek. It's something maybe once a year they can go in there, knock it down, keep it clean, and keep it presentable. And that's the goal behind that. So I just want to further expand on what he had mentioned.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
John or Gerald, any other questions of Pat before we move on?
I have none.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Pat. Next up, we have Tell City Fire Department, Chief Lenny.
Thank you, Mayor. I was contacted by American Test Center late in December. And they're actually going to try to schedule our ladder truck and our ground ladder testing in the month of January. That's always usually done late in the year, and they actually were not in the area, so they did not get it done in 2020. So we're going to do it here probably in January for actually year of 2020, and I'm sure they'll be back sometime in December, January for 2021. So that's a yearly thing we do to keep the ladder truck certified and the ground ladder certified, basically for safety of everyone. And we've had pretty good luck with the ladder truck, so I'm sure it's going to pass. But that's always something I report on once it is done. So other than that, I have not got the totals finished for the year-end report, but I know we were a little slow again for the year. So next meeting, I'll have totals together for that for the city and for the township.
Wonderful.
That's all I have.
Wonderful. For the fire department, that's what we like to hear.
Yes,
We'd
definitely.
love to hear slow. Knock on
Yes.
wood, right? We like to hear that. That's good.
Fire prevention is working.
It is. Gerald or John, do you have any questions of Chief Lenny?
No.
All right.
No,
Thank you.
just, you guys did a great job with the fireworks, Chief.
Thank you. I forgot to mention, yes, that went off without a hitch. It was, we always like for that to go off with no injuries or no problems. So everything went great. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We'll move on to Building Code Inspector, Mr. Steve Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor. Board, I have kind of a short report here for the month of December. We did issue 24 permits for the month. 2 of those were electrical for a value of $1,500. 0 new homes. We did have 2 commercials. One was the Onyx Wealth. They're doing the front of the building, and the other is the Perry County Hospital, 13th Street, doing a complete, well, a $180,000 renovation there. We did have 1 sign, and that was also at Onyx for a value. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll go back to the commercial. The value of those 2 commercial jobs was $265,000. We did have 1 sign, like I said, at Onyx, and that was $5,000. We did have 4 miscellaneous for a value of $43,424. 0 on demos, 0 on the sewer inspection. We did issue 4 temporary license for $100, and the total work value for the month was $530,119. Fees that we collected for the month were way down this past month, $731. Now to the complaint part, 0 grass, 0 mows, yards mowed, 0 trash bust. We did issue 3 junk letters, and those will come, or I guess we can take action on those. It would be the following week, and I feel pretty confident that we will probably execute 2 trash busts next Friday if we can get with Pat. Year to date, we have 136 complaints, and we have issued 13 letters.
Great. And board, I just want to recognize what a great job Steve's been doing. This is his first full year now on the job, and one thing he's doing that I think is great is these temporary license. He's going after out-of-town contractors who actually come into Tell City to do work and making sure that they obtain their temporary license, which, as you can see, they're $25 per license, which generated us another $100 of revenue. But by doing that, he's not only keeping track of who's coming into our community and working, but he's also making sure that they have their license, and that, because by that they're taken away from our local contractors. And so he's holding them accountable, making sure the jobs get done. And I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you, Steve.
Mayor, can I add on to that just a little bit? We will have 3 new contractors that will have taken the test and applied for a new license stemming back from December the 28th. So 2 guys come in last week, and we have 1 coming in tomorrow. So
That's great.
that's a plus. That's great. And one other thing, I'd like to commend Fire Chief Lenny. Great fireworks. We were in Troy and could look over the top of the trees and see the fireworks. So great job as usual, Chief.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Gerald or John, do you have anything, any questions for Steve?
No, sir, just continue the good work.
We're trying, John. We will. Well, I love what I'm doing, and I enjoy it. And yes, I'm grateful that I'm where I'm at.
Thank you, Steve. Next up, we have Tell City Electric Department Superintendent Dennis Dixon.
Don't have a whole lot on this end. We're just, replacing poles and trimming trees, doing preventative maintenance, that kind of stuff to keep lights on.
Dennis, it's on, and while it's on my mind, you mentioned polls. So I know this as AT&T, maybe Comcast, in the 400 block in the alley on on between 7th and Main. Have you had any luck contacting anybody regarding that pole?
No, we did not contact them. The person that called that pole in, we told them it was AT&T and they were to contact them.
Okay. I just, it looks like it's getting to, I don't say a liability point, but it, I don't know if any of that can cause any stress on your other poles with the weight of, I don't know, but
No, it's not affecting us at all. And that's typical AT&T.
okay. All right. Thank you. John or Gerald, any questions for Superintendent Dixon?
No.
No.
Thank you, Dennis. Next up, we have Tell City Police Department Chief Llewellyn. Pulling up
Thank
your
you, Mayor.
report here. All right, I've got your report up, Chief.
All right, thank you, Mayor. First off, I've noticed on the written report there's a typo. It should say 2020 year in review rather than 2021. I think we all would like to erase that year, but
Come on, let me change it. I fixed it for you.
so I wanted to provide just a review of the number of calls that we had fielded. So 18,074 calls for service that went through our dispatch center. As you know, our dispatch center provides a countywide service for police, fire, EMS, and just a amount of other type services. So 18,000 calls for the year there. I looked that information up yesterday. That's down a little bit, which I can only assume has to do with COVID, less traffic, less activity out. We worked 157 motor vehicle crashes. These are crashes that actually resulted in crash reports. So real minor fender benders wouldn't be included in that. These are case reports that we drew for standard vehicle crash reports. And that's just Tell City PD. And then 331 criminal incident reports. Those are cases that we conducted criminal investigations on. Again, that number's down a little bit. I included, and hopefully was emailed out to everybody, a full report there of what those calls were. Really lengthy report, but it is kind of interesting to see the type of calls that we field here locally. Sometimes people are surprised when they see some of the call types. So, and on that topic, I want to share, Mayor, that if there's ever any board members, including council members, who would like to know some crime data for a particular area in the city, we can provide that in a moment's notice. Our report system will allow us to pull those figures up quickly. So just shoot me an email if you're ever curious about that. I'll be happy to provide that information out. It may be relevant to some type of complaint you're getting or something in that area. Any questions about that?
No, it was great. I looked over it. I have it on the report. If anybody wants me to pull it up on the screen, I can do that.
Sure. And the only
It's
other
rather
thing,
lengthy. It is.
Yeah.
It's multiple pages.
yeah. One thing that it's not on there that I wanted to share, we are getting rave reviews on our newest canine, Bax. He has just been on fire as far as productivity, and just recently he found a significant amount of methamphetamine that was covered with cinnamon, where the person had taken bags of cinnamon and lined around the outside, which is a myth to believe that that's going to deter the dog from being able to find it. But it just shows his strengths. I will try to get some data on his activity and provide it at a future meeting, but he's been doing outstanding. The only other thing I was going to share was just this past week, our proximity locks were installed at the police station. They seem to be operating well, and we can only hope that reduces, some of the contamination associated with pushing those keypads that we had before. So nothing else to share right now.
Okay. Board, do you have any questions for Chief Llewellyn?
No, I don't have any.
No questions. Good report, Chief. Thank you.
And
Thank
we
you.
do not have a report from Alvy with the cemetery or Sean with the Parks and Rec. So we'll move on. Go back here. Sorry. Let me get this pulled back up. All right. We'll move back on. There are no wastewater adjustments this month, so I think that's the first month we had wastewater adjustments in like 2 years. I'm not kidding. It's been a while. So I was glad to see that. There is no old business, so we'll move right on to new business. First item under item A is the Interact agreement for 2021. Board, what this is an agreement for the dispatch service provided to the county. The county gives the city of the 911 funds that they receive. They receive more than this amount, but the amount that they receive or what they're going to give us is only 122,000 of their amount. In addition to that, they also give some out of public safety of around 49,600 and I thought that pulled up. For some reason, it's not there. It is. Sorry, I thought that pulled up. As you can see down here, and that totals what 171, 689.25. That's up a little over $6,400 from last year. So this is the last year under the 5-year agreement. Is that right, Chief?
Yes.
Current
that would be
contract.
correct.
So this year, Chief and others will be reviewing what the cost of dispatch service is to renew or renegotiate a contract moving forward that will take effect in 2022. So this is the last. This is only the counties. The county commissioners did adopt this back on December 7th. We have not received Cannleton's, Troy's, or the hospitals for the ambulance service yet. So those are still 3 out ones, and we hope to have those in later this month so we can wrap this up at the end of this month and have everybody's in and done. Board, do you have any questions on this? This is something we've done the last 5 years. I know Gerald, you probably remember some of this, and John, but if you have any questions, just let me know.
No, the EMS will be separate from this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, EMS is separate from this. I can't tell you that dollar figure off the top of my head. I wish I knew it, but I can. Well, I'll get it to you before you have to prove it or anything, so you can see it.
Okay.
And if there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve and allow myself as mayor to sign off on this and for Connie to attest my signature. And we can get these copies back to the commissioners, and then we'll have our copy for our file.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
We have
I'll
a
second.
motion made by John, seconded by Gerald. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is mayoral 2021 appointed committees and boards. Let me pull this up. Just a second to load. Okay. Those are ones that are in green are the ones that I appoint as mayor, and the ones that were reappointed this year. We'll start off with the Alcohol Beverage Commission. Gilbert Spindler will serve a 1-year term on that. The Beautification Committee, we have Gary Morton, Julie Conant, Betty Cash, Wendy Rich, Marianne Weatherholt, Brian Melton, and Dot Kessner, all serving a 1-year term. Reported to the Board of Public Works and Safety, you have myself, Mayor Chris Kale, John Little, and Gerald Yakeley. In the Board of Zoning Appeals, Bob Young was appointed to that last year, but I don't think it was noted very well. So we just want to make sure it was, and because there was an error in that originally, so we did fix that. The Cemetery Committee, we have Gary Morton, J.C. Basham, and Ron Crawford Jr. Department heads, we have City Attorney Jeff Haggerty, Chief of Police Derek O'Allen, Assistant Chief of Police Roger Smith, Fire Chief Greg Linney, Assistant Fire Chief Steve Hauser, Building Code Inspector Steve Goodson, Cemetery Sexton Alvy Stiff, Parks and Rec, I need to change that. That should be Sean Reese. Water Department Wastewater Superintendent Chris Toothman, Street Commissioner Pat Ballmeister, and Water Department Superintendent, which also needs to be changed, should be Brent Badger. So I see I have 2 errors. I'm sorry. Emergency Management, myself as mayor, will be returning to a 2-year term on that. The Flood Wall Committee will be Brent Badger, Pat Ballmeister, Matt Kale, Dennis Dixon, and Chris Toothman as inspector. The Local Emergency Plan Committee will be Julie Conert. Parks and Rec, Brandon Long will be is a replacement on there. And then we also have Philip Simpson, who's a mayoral advisory, but is a non-voting member. Myself as mayor will be reappointed to the Perry County Convention and Visitors Bureau for a 2-year term. Perry County Development Corporation, that's Gary Morton, so that's for the council. Perry County Recycle and Management District, you have myself as mayor, returning on that. The Personnel Advisory Committee, you have myself as mayor, you have Connie Berger, and you also have Gary Morton. The Pool Committee, you have Maurice Harpenow, which is a mayoral appointment. You have Jimmy Toothman, which is a mayor appointment, and Philip Simpson and Julie Conert, both are mayor appointments, but must be council members. Planning Commission, we have Larry Kleeman as a mayoral appointment. The Revolving Loan Fund, which is the council president, which should be Gary Morton. We do have one opening on this for the Tell City Economic Development. So Ike Glenn's did resign this year from that. So I will get a notice out to the newspaper and social media that we are seeking applicants for that position. Joe Don was appointed already this year, just to be noted. Regional Arts, myself as mayor and Philip Simpson will be returning on that. The Wellness Committee will be Tony Hollenden, Brianne Walsh, Angie Forey, and Caitlin Young. The Windy Creek Committee, Chris Toothman, Matt Kale, Gary Morton, Pat Ballmeister, Deborah Gilmore, John Little, and Bill Goffnet will return each as a 1-year term on that. And that's all I have on there. We also have an opening on the Tell City Planning Commission. That must be a Tell City resident and must be a registered Republican for that. So between the EDC, which could be anybody, is not politically balanced for that one. We do have those 2 open positions, and we will be putting that out on our social media as well as in the Perry County News for any residents that would like to be considered for that board. With that, next item on the agenda is item C. With Martin Luther King Day being a holiday, we do have to change the date of our meeting from the 18th to the 19th. So that'll be a Tuesday, same time. So if you just make note of that, that's all we'll have to do.
Mayor or Connie, if one of you will send me an email, I'll do a notice for that since it deviates from the regular schedule.
Okay.
Okay,
Connie, do you want to?
I can do that. Yes.
You'll take care of it? Okay.
Yes, I'll send it to him.
Okay, and the meeting will still be at 6 p.m. I do not have any mayor's report really, except for I do want to thank Fire Chief Lenny again for the fireworks. I did see a lot of positive comments on that on social media. People said they were better than Santa Claus. So hearing that was great. I will tell you, they were spectacular this year. I mean, they always are every year, but for some reason this year they just, maybe it's because 2020 was going out. It made them seem a lot better. Kind of seemed like the finalness of that. But thank you to you and the fire department for putting on such a fantastic show that evening. And we really appreciated it. So
Thank you. I will pass that on to the guys that were there. Thank you.
I have nothing else to come before the board. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chris, I believe one of our sports programs won the state championship this weekend.
They did. The wrestling team did. Yeah, thank you for that. We did have a wonderful parade. Thank you, Chief Lowland, for having the officers kind of escort them through the town. It's very exciting to see that. We did share it on our social media page. I was at the park here with a sign hollering for them, and I'm very proud of them. Our sports are doing very well here, I think, in Tell City here lately, and I'm proud of all the efforts of the coaches and the players for all they do. So, anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion made by Gerald and seconded by John. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. I'll see you guys back here shortly for our 7 o'clock city council meeting. Have a good night.